It's been pretty quiet on the D4 front. Um, we are going through the holiday season, so that can be understandable. But with 2 weeks away from season three launching on January 23rd, I thought it'd be a good idea to come back to my studio and go over what we know so far for the month of January for Diablo 4 and what is going to drop. As you can see on my monitor behind me in my studio, this is what we know as of today regarding the content that's coming for Diablo 4. And it's going to be Season 3, the Gauntlet, Leaderboards, and Hall of Ancients. Now, as you can see in my smaller TV here, that is a video that I did that covered basically the whole schedule for content for Diablo 4 for 2024. And if you haven't watched it and you want to know exactly what's going on with the content that's going to be dropped in Diablo 4 on 2024, I suggest you go watch that video. But I want to talk and do a deep dive into a couple of things that I think are appropriate for us to discuss right now as we embark on a new year for Diablo 4. The game is just over 6 months old, give or take, and we all know what the history of the game and the ups and downs that it's gone through. One might argue that 2024 is going to be a critical year for Diablo 4. So I'd like to explore that. By the way, I am one of those people. I think Diablo 4 has a very, very critical 6 months ahead of itself for the following reasons. And I've stated these in numerous videos. And if I'm really, really being honest, I've literally had the same sentiment and feeling literally right out of the gate because the game obviously didn't take long for it to take a very nasty turn into not being able to deliver on what the player base wanted. Now, granted, the Season 2, I would suggest, was a success to some degree and was a huge leap in improvement from Season 1. And hats off to the dev team. They did a great job and they poured a ton of content into it. It's still not enough. And I think the player base, the sentiment that's out there right now, I think reflects that. Yes, there's a core player base of players that are playing this game, enjoying this game. I get told that all the time. I see it in my comments. I get people coming into my live stream and telling me the same thing. Now, it's a very small minority, at least what comes across and what I experience, people communicating to me. I think for the most part, and I really don't think this is up for an argument, that the majority of the player base are really disappointed with how Diablo 4 was launched and to be honest, how it's being maintained right now. The lack of transparency, the lack of depth in what's being communicated and what's being done to the game and how slow it's being done. So these are things that really continue to drag down the game into the mud and just adds fuel to the fire of discussion of this game is bad. Now, I, for one, will continue to talk about Diablo 4 because deep down, really deep down, and it's getting the flame of hope is dimming more and more and more as time transpires, and I see the same stuff being done and the way it's being handled. So that flame is slowly dimming, but I still have a glimmer of hope of that somehow we can rescue this game and get it to where it needs to be. I personally would love to go back and play it. I haven't played it in a long time. I stopped in season 2 at level 90-ish, I think. 80-ish, high 80s, almost 90. And I haven't gone back. And I've stated a million times why. But regarding January, I think it's important to know that the gauntlet is coming. And it's a test for our mastery and skill, and there's going to be leaderboards, and monsters and chests are going to drop that you need to pick up in order to, they're called proofs of might, and it increases your score. And at the beginning of each week, a new gauntlet will replace the current one, and the leaderboards will reset, right? And the leaderboards are going to have the top 1,000 players. Solar Barbarian, Solar Druid, Solar Necromancer, Solar Rogue, Solar Sorceress, 2-player party, 3-player party, and 4-player party. That's basically going to be the leaderboards that everyone's going to be, that's interested in this format, that's going to be chasing. And then they're going to have the Hall of the Ancients, which is a permanent leaderboard that cements the top 10 players from each week and every season forever. So you want to have your name etched in history, you're going to want to do the leaderboards. And because they've said that it'll be forever, the Hall of Ancients will. Now, the next developer live stream is going to be January 23rd. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Season 3 is dropping on January 23rd. And if history is any indication of how the dev team is going to handle this, since this is about 2 weeks away, Season 3, 2 weeks away from dropping, and typically, so for example, Season 2, I believe the season dropped on October 17th, and they did a live stream on the October 4th and October 10th. I don't think they're going to be doing 2 live streams for Season 3. They may, I don't know. But if they only do 1 live stream, then January 23rd, I would imagine in the next week. So I would think this week they're going to announce when they're going to do the live stream. And then the live stream for Season 3 update will happen the week of the 15th, which is the week prior to the 23rd. So I would imagine the 16th or the 19th would be the live stream around there. And that'll give us an update on Season 3 and what we're going to do. But I want to know what your thoughts are. If you've watched that video of mine and you've seen what they plan on dropping in 2024, my question to you, the audience, is it enough? As I claimed, and the title, my thumbnail of that video over there, D4 2024 content detail. Will it be enough? I don't think, and I stated it in that video, I don't think what they have stored for 2024 is enough. I think they need to light a fire under their you-know-whats and get some stuff done quickly. Now, I still have a glimmer of hope for the following reasons. I think they've taken this holiday season break. Again, this is the optimist in me, and maybe I'm like in la la land by saying this, but I'm hoping they've reflected during the holiday season. They've reflected on, wow, this is getting out of hand, and they see that the anger and how the players want this game to be good so bad. They want it to be so good. And I'm hoping that they're going to take a more fast track approach to their development and what they're planning on implementing, because this schedule behind me is, it's basically status quo. This is what Blizzard is known for. Activision Blizzard King is known for. Slow, methodical, steady, taking forever to fix games, years and years and years and years. And I'm not going to recite them all. You guys know what I'm talking about. So are we going to get the status quo Activision Blizzard King, or are we going to get a new mentality of how they're going to address what's happening in Diablo 4? This isn't news to anybody. I'm not making this up. This isn't copium. This game is fluttering. You could, everywhere you turn, everywhere you look, doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out this game is fluttering. It started with such fanfare and has since nosedived in every aspect. You can't deny it. That's not an argument. So I don't think they can rest on their laurels, if you know what I mean. So I would hope that this calendar behind me gets drastically added to, and I mean throughout 2024, because 2024 has a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of games, new games coming out, and we're not going to address that here, but they have a lot of competition coming down the pipe that's really going to test their player base's time. Who are they going to give? Who are these players going to give their time to? Is it going to be a Diablo 4 game that is taking its time finding its way to where it needs to be? Or is a player, a gamer, going to dedicate their time to a new and fresh game that's amazing, has everything they want, and they're into it? You know, that's the question. That's, if I was leading the Diablo 4 dev team, that's the mentality. That's what I would have in the back of my mind and driving my behavior and my decisions on what should we do to this game for season 3, for season 4, for season 5, for the expansion. This is the fuel that would light my drive to fixing this game. And I somehow hope that they have taken the time in this holiday break to think about that and see what they could do. Anyway, I just wanted to have and open up 2024, because in the next 2 weeks we're going to get a live stream and we're going to get a season 3 drop. And I want to ask you, do you think they're going to stick to this schedule, or do you think that they're going to somehow add to it because of what's happening and the lack of players playing this game and the sentiment that's out there right now? So let me know in the comments section. I would really appreciate it. I hope you guys like my new studio. We're going to come in here every once in a while and talk about stuff like this. You know, we can't be out there all the time grinding, going crazy. You know, we got to go back to the studio, sit down, have a cup of joe, and have a serious discussion. This is where we come to have serious discussions. So I hope you like my new studio. Spent a lot of money on this studio. So anyway, let me hear your thoughts. What do you think? You think I'm out to lunch? And please, I don't want to hear that you love D4, you hate D4. I want to talk about the questions. I don't want to hear fanboys. I don't want to hear trolls. Let's have a meaningful discussion. This isn't about D4 bad, guys. This isn't about it, okay? Every game goes through ups and downs. All right? If I thought D4 was bad and I thought D4 was not playable and I had no aspirations of playing it, I wouldn't be creating content about it. I continue to create content about D4 because somehow I would like, if possible, maybe I could have an influence on improving this game, even as small as it is. I'm going to try my darndest to help, because if we don't talk about it, it doesn't get talked about and it doesn't get addressed. So this is why I continue to make these videos, is because deep down I want to go back and play this game and I want to see it fixed. So let's have a serious discussion. We shouldn't be talking about this game's better than that game in this game. That's like high school stuff. Okay. Every game goes through ups and downs. So let's talk about, is this content enough? Should we have more? That's what I want to know. If you've seen the 2024 calendar, that'll give you the base of what they're saying is going to drop. I personally think they need to speed it up. So let me hear your thoughts in the comments section. And if you can find it in your heart to like, comment, and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care.